Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So today, I thought it would be great to go over some of my favorite crypto altcoins. In fact, I used to do this all the time. I go through CMC, look at the top 100, starting from the top, of course, Bitcoin, all the way down. So today, that's what I'm going to do, because I know a lot of you guys are not familiar with a lot of the coins within the top 100. So let's go through some of them and let me share some of my opinions on them and have some fun while doing so. All right, let's get started. Welcome. welcome, guys. Hopefully you're doing well tonight. Bitcoin is still holding strong, but I did notice something very, very encouraging for altcoin holders today. Bitcoin dominance dropped down huge. If you look on top right here, it was above 53% just a few days ago, and it dropped to 52 something percent, and now it dropped to 51.4%. It's still pretty high, over 50%, but it has been dropping because a lot of alts have started coming alive, right? A lot more movement with the altcoins. So why don't we talk about it? Let's go through here and let's look at what's coming up and what shows promise. Now, this also relates to what I've been showing you guys with my DCA portfolio, right? So the DCA portfolio, which I've been DCAing since 2021 with you guys. So it's been over a year. So this has been in the red for quite some time because of the alts, but the alts are coming back very, very strong. So now, just last week, when I DCA'd, it was like negative 15%. Now it's down to negative 13%. So I'm hopeful even by this Wednesday, if alts gain some more momentum, and Bitcoin, of course, gets some momentum, I actually may be breaking even with this. And again, this proves a point, the power of DCA. No trading involved, no looking at charts, nothing like that. Simply DCA into your favorite projects that's worth holding on to. And there's a big, big, big recovery going on, and it pays off, right? So we'll see this Wednesday. We'll see what happens. Okay. So let's do this. Let's jump right in. I usually cover the news. I usually show a lot of Bitcoin charts, right? I'll show a little bit of that at the end. But right now, I think a lot of you guys know Bitcoin already is recovering from bottom, looking pretty good, consolidating right now. A lot of the money is flowing into alts. Crypto Frank, did you see Tesla's site? You can order items with DOGE. Frank, that happened like a year ago. Yeah, that's been actually probably 2 years ago. So that's not new. Still waiting for the purchase of Teslas once again with Bitcoin. That would be huge. Or Doge. But yeah. Rich, I saw your super chat. Thank you. All right, let's do this. So starting, I don't have to go with number one, okay? You guys know Bitcoin. It's the big daddy. It's the one that you should hold a lot of. 50% of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin, okay? When Bitcoin goes up, you gain. When the market goes down, Bitcoin generally holds the strongest. You also gain, right? So you want that stability, and you get the growth, obviously, because Bitcoin's going to go a lot higher this cycle. I don't need to talk a lot about Bitcoin this one. But moving on, let's talk about Ethereum. What's going on in Ethereum? A lot of people have been asking about Ethereum. As you can clearly see, last 90 days, Ethereum is only up 2%, while Bitcoin is up 17%, right? And Ethereum has been trailing Bitcoin for throughout basically 2023. So that has not changed. A lot of people have been asking me, do we need to get off the ETH bandwagon? Should we switch it to Bitcoin, or should we switch it to some other alts, right? Here's my opinion. They are still the big daddy of smart contracts, of L1s, of tokenization, of NFT marketplaces, all of those things, right? Still the big daddy. Right now, it is stagnant. I think some of it is due to this ETHgate situation, and that may have caused some FUD. Also, people are worried about Vitalik himself, whether he will be able to solve the scaling issue for Ethereum. But like I said, it's the big daddy of smart contracts, L1s, TVL, DeFi, whatever you name. It is still the biggest by far it's almost like 10x higher than, say, BNB, right? Not 10x, but maybe like 8x, right? So it's still in a very good position. Do I think Ethereum's going to go up this cycle? Yes. And there have been periods before where Ethereum just doesn't outperform Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden it does. And we see Ethereum go up like 30% within a month. We see that happen all the time, right? So is it time to give up on Ethereum? In my opinion, no. Not time to give up. Okay. Now, moving down. The top 10 is, what I'm primarily going to focus on, but there's a lot more outside top 10. And I can't go very detailed on every single one or I'm going to run out of time. But BNB, I do like. Okay, I'm going to skip over the stable coins too, like Tether. Okay, there's no point in talking about them. But BNB, I do like. It's a foundational coin for Binance Smart Chain. Also, created by Binance, right? Obviously, if you haven't figured that out yet. Binance, the biggest exchange on earth, they came out with BNB. If you hold it, you get discount and trading fees. Also, they have a burning mechanism for BNB. So they're going to cut the circulation supply eventually down to 100 million. So they take their profits and they burn BNB with it. So it's deflationary and there is a set supply, which is good. And Binance Smart Chain, right, also uses BNB. And they have a robust DeFi ecosystem too, right? For example, PancakeSwap is actually doing quite well right now. And it's within Binance Smart Chain. So is BNB worth holding on to? Yes. BNB, traditionally speaking, is not very sexy. It does not move very quickly. You don't see plus 20% days for BNB, but it just surprises you. It's like the tortoise. It just keeps on going slowly, going upwards. All right, that's what happens. So BNB, good hold. Now, below XRP. I talk about XRP all the time, including this morning. It had a big 10% rise this morning. XRP has been stagnant for a long time because of the SEC lawsuit, which is about to conclude possibly in 3 days. November 9th is when the next hearing date is. So with the SEC lifted off his shoulder, XRP this cycle can really shine, right? And Ripple's go IPO. And XRP Ledger is getting involved with many different things besides just being a bridge currency for transactions. Okay, so XRP is looking like it's a pretty good spot. It's a pretty good spot. So I do think XRP is going to do very well this cycle without the SEC holding it down, right? So can it get back to its previous high of like $4 or close to $4? Yeah, and then it'll go past that. All right, moving down. Solana, Cardano. Talk about these two all the time. They're L1s, right? Solana has a Sol, which powers its network, and Cardano has ADA, which powers its network, right? They're kind of polar opposites. Solana moves very quickly, does a lot of upgrades. It's very fast, okay? But in the past, it had a lot of outages because of it. Cardano, on the other hand, is slow. It is slow in transaction speed and slow in upgrades. Its leader, Charles, is kind of slow. But Cardano, as far as I know, never had a network outage. So you have polar opposites of each other, yet they're both doing quite well with their own following. Do I think they're both worth holding on to? Yes. Solana, especially recently, has been going up quite a lot. It's taking a breather now. But man, up 107% in the last 60 days. That's huge. Think about it. Just 2 months ago, it was below $20. So Solana is getting past the FTX FUD, right? SBF is guilty. He's going away for 100 years. Okay, so they're getting past that. Even though the new FTX still holds an enormous amount, they're staking it right now. And a whole lot of it can't be unstaked either. So that released some of the selling pressure fears. And Cardano, on the other hand, has an enormous amount of people just staking it. Okay, just staking Cardano, locking it in, and that's good overall. While Cardano is developing and getting other things like governance and scaling and side chains and everything else going, right? So both are good. Both are good. And we'll see which one wins out at the end of this cycle, which one comes out on top. Because they always seem to be like neck and neck. All right. Now moving past Doge. Not much to say about Doge. It's a meme coin, the oldest meme coin there is, the third oldest crypto there is, right behind Litecoin and Bitcoin. They are proof of work. They're using merge mining with Litecoin. Okay, interesting fact. But they don't really do anything right now. People just hold on to it because it's fun, waiting for Elon to do something. Elon, you know, to someone, Crypto Frank said, well, you could use Doge to buy a Cybertruck whistle. That's about it. You can't do anything else with it. So it's kind of like, is Elon going to do something with it? If so, it's going to blow up again, just like back in 2021 when it blew up to 70 cents, right? So it has to go up 10x just to get back to the previous high. Can it happen? Possibly. Okay. Is it worth holding on to? Well, if you hold a boatload of it, I guess it's just keep holding on to it. But do I suggest buying into it? I'm going to say no. I think there are better plays at this point, especially the ones I just talked about. All these ones above, I like a whole lot better. I'm going to skip over Tron because I don't trust anything Tron. I don't care if it's sitting at number 10. I don't trust Justin Sun. I don't trust any of the moves he has made. If you doubt that, go look up Justin Sun. Look at some of the history, some of the past things, the shady things he has done. So I don't trust Tron at all. Okay, so I'm going to skip over that. Toncoin is quite simply interesting. Its rise, 91% in the last 90 days. I didn't even see this. Toncoin has a weird history. It was created by Telegram, the messaging group. Then it got shut down by the SEC. Then it became an open source project. Then they formed a partnership with Telegram. So technically it's still Telegram's. Even though they had to refund like $2 billion of the ICO funds that they collected, right? Why is it so hot? I can't really figure it out. With Toncoin, you can buy like a fake number that you can start a Telegram group with or a Telegram account with. I think that's really the only usage for it. I don't know why it's so hot, but it is. But something that I'm just more neutral on, right? I still do like other L1s better, but that's the history of it. It's a really weird history. Chainlink. Moving on. Chainlink, man, they have been really on fire. 100% last 60 days. Their new CCIP technology, which is the basically interoperable bridge between different chains, is really gaining strength, not only within the crypto sector, but outside the crypto sector. Okay, so that's why they're doing really well. A lot of businesses, governments, DeFi projects, you name it, they're all looking to use Chainlink for their Oracle system. They are the biggest decentralized Oracle network there is. And also using CCIP to transfer data and documents and everything else seamlessly between one coin to another, one chain to another, and off chains too. So Chainlink, definitely a good hold. Surprisingly, Chainlink in the past has been very, very stagnant. I don't recall the last time it's actually been this high on CMC. Usually it's like in the top 20, 25. Chainlink has been doing really well. All right. Moving on. I'm going to start skipping over some of these because I just don't like them. But I do like Polygon a lot. They are L1, L2. They are EVM compatible, but they have their own Matic token. Polygon is going through a transition, trying to transition to Polygon 2, which is a new token, Pol token. But right now, they have the staking chain, and also they have the ZK EVM chain. So they're trying to like kind of merge it all together with Polygon 2, right? They have huge brands, major brands like Starbucks and Nike and Reddit and others that are on top of Polygon, utilizing them for their NFT collection, right? They are huge. They've been stagnant, but I do think they could make a big recovery. So I do like Polygon. All right, I'm going to skip down a little bit. Polkadot is a big L1, right? They have side chains, but I just don't hear that much about them. A lot of development, I don't hear about it on Polkadot. So I'm kind of neutral. I'm going to skip over Litecoin. I'm going to go to SHIB, which is the second biggest meme coin, right behind Doge, right? They're building out. They have Shibarium, which is a layer 2. They have their DEX. They're coming out their Metaverse game. They're coming out a whole lot. So they're really trying to be a non-meme at this point, which could help them in the bull run. But right now, they're still sitting at number 18, while Doge is all the way up there, right? So they just quite can't seem to catch up. Maybe this bull run, they finally will, because of all the other activity that's going on. We'll have to see, right? Fifth Avenue Phil. LimeWire, it's back, 4 cents. Now it's at 30. I don't even remember what LimeWire is. All right, now moving on, skipping over Bitcoin Cash, Avalanche, Stellar, Cosmos. I kind of label them together, but Avalanche is L1. I do like them quite a lot. They have a lot of promising going on, right? They started sidechains like a few years ago, and they're building that out. And, you know, they have burning. They have a good DeFi ecosystem, decent TVL, and they're bringing aboard dApps. They have a lot of funding, a lot of grants, right? So they seem to be doing well. A little stagnant, but I do like them a lot. Cosmos is very similar. Cosmos is more like a L0, but, you know, they have a lot of L1s come out of it, which means they're basically the base layer, and they help other dApps come out with their own chains that rides within the Cosmos ecosystem. That's why it's called Cosmos, right? And Avalanche is kind of the same way. Avalanche is kind of turning themselves into L0, and all the side chains become L1s. So in essence, they're kind of similar, right? But yeah, I like both quite a lot. Stellar, I'm just going to mention real quick. I'm not a fan of Stellar, but it's almost like it's its own chain, kind of like XRP Ledger, but I don't know what the direction is, so I really can't say. So I'm going to skip over them. OKB is OKX's coin, right? Kind of like BNB. They're gaining a lot of popularity because OKX is the second largest exchange by volume. I'm sure, I don't know the specifics, but I'm pretty sure you go get discount on trading fees and so forth. So I'm going to skip over a lot of the exchange coins, but they're all similarly the same. Uniswap is the biggest DEX out there. A lot of other DEXs are gaining a lot of strength recently, right? So if you are not a fan of sexes, yes, that's how you say it, like Coinbase's and Binance of the world, you want something decentralized, well, then you have to use a DEX like Uniswap. And almost every single meme now launches on Uniswap, and every single new product usually launches on Uniswap. So Uniswap has a lot going for it, right? So it's not just Uniswap, and there's other SushiSwap, and then on the other DEX, other chains, there's DEXs too. I kind of go through them as I go down. Hedera, Aptos, ICP, Kronos, VeChain, Near Protocol. These are all L1s, layer 1s, base layers, just like Solana and Cardano and Ethereum. Okay, they all operate differently. Some are EVM compatible, some are not, right? So they're all fighting the same space, trying to draw in dApps. Hedera, they used to be non-open source. Now they are open source. They have a large console of very important companies like Google and IBM. You know, they kind of help Hedera make decisions on what to do, right? So Hedera has that console. They also got into tokenization. They introduced smart contracts when before they didn't, right? So they're like a full-fledged L1. Nothing wrong with that. Aptos is the same thing, started by ex-Facebook guys. They're doing the same thing, very fast, open source, right? Kronos is the same thing, started by the exchange Crypto.com. VeChain has been around for quite some time, started out in the supply chain space, now trying to go outside of that. Okay, and Near Protocol's very similar. Very similar. It's very similar to Solana. It's almost like a VC chain. A lot of big VCs are involved with it, but same thing. So all these are L1s, like Hedera, Aptos, ICP, Kronos, VeChain, Near, right? But out of these, I didn't mention ICP is also L1, but they operate very, very, very differently. Very differently than all of them. So out of these, which ones do I like? I think they all have promise. I I have nothing against Hedera, but I think they have promise. Aptos the same thing. ICP kind of the same thing. Chronos kind of the same thing. VeChain I do like a little more because I discovered them very early in 2017. Near Protocol is someone new, relatively new, around the same time as Solana, right? So they all have promise, and they're all fighting in the same exact space. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Filecoin, I didn't mention, is the biggest decentralized storage project out there. So you could actually lend out your hard drive space. You could actually make money by doing so. You can lend it out, and others could actually rent storage space on top of Filecoin, right? So that's how it works. It's not a very sexy thing. For me, I'm neutral on Filecoin. I like other alternatives better, but that's what it is, and it is the biggest one in the space. All right, that's just the top 40. I'm going to have to move a little bit quicker before I run out of energy. So Aave, I'm going to throw some of these in here. Compound you don't see yet, but Aave is in the DeFi space. Same thing with Maker, same thing with Thorchain. They're all in the DeFi space. Okay. Aave is more like a liquidity protocol. Thorchain is a liquidity protocol chain, but Aave's, they're multi-chain now. They started with Ethereum. Now they're on Arbitrum. They're on, there's one other chain that they're on. They might be on BNB now too. So yeah, Aave is there. It's the biggest liquidity protocol, and you can earn some yield if you stake in these liquidity, right? So that's what Aave is. And liquidity protocol, anything, it's considered DeFi. DeFi plays are doing very well. So you can see today it's up almost 9%. People are looking at DeFi plays right now. That's why you got Aave, and then Compound is a very similar project. And then you got Uniswap and SushiSwap. You got all these DeFi plays. They're actually coming up. DeFi plays, traditionally speaking, are very, very slow and non-moving. But right now we're seeing this kind of shift. This is the first time in history where we actually see a lot of usage of DeFi versus if you look at like 2021 when DeFi first started. But if you go back in 2017, there was literally no DeFi. It was non-existent. So now we're starting to see DeFi come into its own, which is great. You got Arbitrum and Optimism. Both of these are considered L2s. They're not L1s because they basically utilize ETH as the gas fee, right? So they have their own token, but those tokens are only being used for governance. They're not actually used for transactions. So basically, they are a layer on top of Ethereum, and they are much more efficient and faster, and they both have pretty good ecosystem. Now, Arbitrum was leading the way, but now they're just back and back, right? And Optimism is gaining a lot of strength, and there's a lot of dApps on both. So I think they both have a lot of promise. Now, Injective, I mentioned about Cosmos before. Injective is the biggest L1 out of Cosmos ecosystem. So they have been on fire, 149% in the last 60 days, right? So basically, they're L1. They're full-blown L1. They help projects come aboard and scale them. They are EVM compatible. So they're basically a full L1, but they're built with Cosmos, their SDK. They have IBC enabled, so they could talk to other chains within Cosmos. So they're just doing really well. There's no really particular reason. They got a stable coin too. They got USDC on there. But, you know, their TVL is growing, but nothing really explains their explosive growth in the last month or 2 months. But, you know, they're good. They're doing very good. Very good indeed. So skipping down here a little bit, Quant is a B2B play. They always have been. A lot of people always ask me about Quant. It's not my thing. Maker, they're a stable coin. They're a stable coin project. They have DAI. Okay. DAI is their stable coin. So you could put down collateral. Say if you wanted to borrow DAI, you could put down ETH as collateral and borrow against it. So that's what they're about. Okay. Not my favorite project, but it exists. A lot of people utilize it. Growing down, you have Multiverse X, which used to be called Elrond. You also have Algorand. You have Neo. These are L1 chains. Okay, So they've been around for a while. It's just that they lost a lot of momentum. Neo came out in 2017. So it's just they lost a lot of momentum, but here they're roaring back. People seem to love it. They're out of Asia too. Algorand, they lost a lot of momentum. They lost a lot of leadership, and they were declared security, so they got some FUD, but they're coming back as well. And Multiverse X, which I hate the name, but they're also coming back too. They came out a little bit later. They had their own projects they developed by the team, like their own decks, their own launch pad. But, you know, they're very early. They don't have a lot of TVL like a lot of the other chains. They don't have a robust NFT marketplace like a lot of chains. So, I mean, they're promising L1s. That's all you can say about them. Some of them have been older. For me, you know, I'm not the biggest fans of these. I'd rather pick some of the L1s I've told you guys about on top, right? But they could be doing well this cycle. Immutable X is interesting. They're like a whole NFT thing, but they're coming out with their own chain, Immutable ZK EVM chain. So they are about to become an L1. But right now, as it stands, they're more into NFTs. They're a chain for NFTs, basically, right? But they have a big partnership with Polygon, so they're going to be transitioning into this chain, into a full-fledged L1, and that'll be very different once it happens. All right, now moving on. What else is there? These three, you know, labeled together is kind of, you know, similar. You got Sandbox and Decentralized. Both of these are Metaverse plays. I've always said I like Sandbox more, and I can see, yeah, people agree because now it has flipped above Decentraland. So they're both Metaverse plays. I think Sandbox definitely has an edge because it's more like Minecraft. You could build worlds, you could build maps, you could build missions. So there's more to do. But Decentraland is more like a Second Life kind of thing. You just visit a virtual world, right? Brands used to do like a lot of showcasing. They have their own shows. You could purchase stuff in the Decentraland. But these days, not so much. At least not as much before. But both of these could come back full force. Axie Infinity is a big game. It's not really Metaverse, but it's a game. NFTs involved. Huge in Asia. And could get bigger once again. Once, you know, we're in bull run, they could definitely gain a lot of strength. So they're definitely the biggest gaming project that we have in the crypto space. Render is a project that is decentralized GPU. Basically, you can lend out your GPU and other people could borrow it to do 3D processing, right? It has been doing well because people think that you could render AI with it. That is not in the cards yet, although that could be in the cards. And they have redone their token economics. This was maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago. Their token economics before sucked, but then now it's better. So that could be the reason why it's going up. All right. We're almost there, guys. Almost there. Now we're back 50s into the 60s. A lot of these I'm going to jumble together. XDC, Tezos, EOS, Phantom, Kava. These are all L1s. Okay, they're all L1s. So they all use their own tokens. They're trying to figure out. A lot of people didn't ask me about XDC. I don't have any good reason to explain why it's been doing well recently, right? But I'll do more research into them. Tezos and EOS, they're very same. They're very, very similar. They have the same structure, and you know what? Both of them have gone through a lot. They've both been sued by the SEC. They both came out alive, and they're just pressing forward. EOS had this bad history of Block 1. They finally got rid of them. They were supposed to rename themselves to Antelope, which would have been a disaster for a name, but not sure what is going on with either one right now. Phantom, I have supported because they're run by or led by Andre Croy, who is like a DeFi OG in this space. But they have suffered a lot. You know, they had their decks hacked, and Andre Croy for a time left, and then he came back, and then now they're talking about converting themselves to L2 instead of being L1. So there's some controversy there. But you know what? They're still in the top 100, and I'm still rooting for them. Kava, just like Injective is out of Cosmos. They're L1, focused on DeFi ecosystem. They have their own stable coins. They have their own lending protocol. They're kind of like their own space, doing relatively well. Okay, Synthetic is a project that helps people create synthetic tokens. So you could use synthetic tokens. You could tokenize things and trade it within their own DEX. So some people like that. Not for me. Moving on, you have Trust Wallet token, which Trust Wallet we know and love. I just don't see the point of this token. Big Ed token, which is for the exchange. You have Mina, which is their own L1. Chili's is their own L1. Conflux is L1. IOTA is L1, right? Out of these, a lot more people ask about Mina. They're very, 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 very lightweight chain. Only kilobytes of data for their chain because they're a chain of snapshots, which is good and bad. It's good because it's very lightweight. Anyone can spin up a node really quickly. It's bad because there's not a lot of archiving and it's slow because of snapshots. So, but they're getting involved with ZK technology. They have grant systems in place, so they could do well in this bull market. Chili's is all about fan-based tokens. Okay, so they had a whole bunch of fan-based tokens. Now they're evolving into just loyalty for sports teams. So they're all over the place, but they lost a lot of traction because basically because of the SEC, because a lot of people were fearful that they would get sued because all the not the fan tokens, but the sports team tokens, they're considered securities, which is why in the U.S. they don't allow it. And their major app, the Socios app, is not available in the U.S., so that also limits it as well, right? Moving on, Flow, they are their own L1, focused on NFTs. Some of you guys used to remember NFT, NBA Top Shots, the NFT, very hot NFT marketplace. They're still around. They're on top of Flow. Flow also, they created all these other ones too. That they created one for NFL and some other one too. CryptoKitties, remember? I don't know. Only OGs will remember CryptoKitties. They were created by the team behind Flow. So I like them. I just haven't heard a lot about them recently, especially since NFTs started coming down. Conflux is a big L1 out of China. I believe they're the only L1 approved by the government of China. So that's why they have potential, because as China embraces more blockchain and crypto, they can start doing really well, right? That makes a whole lot of sense. PancakeSwap is the biggest DEX on Binance Smart Chain. They have been doing really well, 90% in the last 30 days, so good for them. And they also expanded into EVM territory too, I believe. So it's not just BNB, but also EVM stuff. So that's good. ApeCoin is created by Yuga Labs. Again, the people behind some of the biggest NFT projects like Bored Apes. And they bought a whole bunch of projects like CryptoPunks and Doodles and other. I don't know if they bought Doodles. I think they did. They bought a lot of collections. And they're coming out the Metaverse game, right? Other Side, which will use ApeCoin, hopefully. So we'll see. But this coin has been pretty weak recently. IOTA, I mentioned, is an L1. Same thing with Sui. They're L1. They're a brand new one. IOTA is not even a blockchain. It's a DAG. They've been around for a while. And then they started rebranching themselves into a EVM chain. They did a whole bunch of stuff. Doesn't really seem like it worked. So they're kind of just hovering. GALA is a gaming platform. A lot of people asking me about GALA, but the founders are suing each other, so it's kind of hard to get behind. But they have a lot of great games. A lot of people enjoy, but because of the founders' lawsuits, it kind of sucks. But I'm still rooting for them. Rocket Pool is like a liquidity provider. They're doing okay. They're in the DeFi space. You got Pepe, also, the third largest meme coin. Some controversy because some of the founders supposedly pulled out and took some of the Pepe with them. But since then, they've been implementing coin burning, and they're trying to do more now. They're trying to do what like SHIB is doing, which is like branching out from just being a meme coin. So I don't know if it's gonna work, but hopefully it does. And then you got Arweave. They're doing well recently, so they're a decentralized storage play, kind of like Filecoin. Well, I think I'm better because they're partnered up with Solana. Solana's decentralized storage is Arweave, so that's pretty good. And Arweave, they are themselves a L1, so they also have dApps too, open source dApps like email clients and storage. They also store internet. They have like one of the biggest internet archives, so that's also pretty good. So I like Arweave a lot. Zcash is in the privacy space, which I'm not a big fan of, at least not for investment purposes. Clayton is another L1. Oasis is a L1. Casper's L1. They're all L1s. So they're all okay. Clayton is created by these conglomerate in South Korea, which has since then given up on them. So they're going through a transition right now, which is kind of strange. Oasis is a promising L1. Casper is a promising L1, like I mentioned. I don't know too much about them, but a lot of people do seem to like them, so I have to do more research into them. BitTorrent, bought by Tron, so I don't like them anymore. Compound, very similar to Aave, liquidity provider, but Aave seems to be doing the right thing, so it's bigger. Blur is a new NFT marketplace. Terra, classic, L1 that I lost a whole bunch of money on, right? But they're still up here in the top 100 at 98, so that's kind of amazing. Nexo is a lending program that stopped lending, and they haven't been shut down by the SEC, which is amazing. But they are lending. They are a centralized lending platform, not like Compound or Aave, who are decentralized. Nexo is actually centralized, and they're still around. And Huobi is, of course, for the Huobi exchange. And Wu Network is, and GMX, they're like DeFi plays. Wu Network is, yeah, it's just a complete DeFi. And so I believe GMX is as well. And then Gate Token is for Gate.io. All right. So that is a top 100. Okay. I'm not going to go down anymore. I'm not going to go to 200. But in case you wanted to educate yourself in a really quick manner within 30 minutes, I gave you a really good broad overview. So a lot of you guys may be wondering why I have the coins I do in my DCA portfolio, which I have a lot that I mentioned. It's because I do like them. I believe in them. I think they have a good future. They used to be, some of these used to be much higher, and I do think that they have a really good shot in getting back up there, right? So there you go. There you go. All right, let's do some Q&A. Ooh, that was a lot. I just oh, where's my camera? My camera disappeared. I don't know what happened. My camera disappeared. So interesting. I can't get my camera up, so I just have to use this one. I don't know what happened to my camera. All right. Okay, real talk. What would it take for you to do the top 500? I can't. Before my limit is about like before I counted. I used to know about like 300 coins, and I think I'm still around 300, maybe a little bit more now. Can Pepe flip Doge? Man, I can't even talk anymore. Can Pepe flip Doge even for a day? It could happen. Is it likely to happen? No. No, it's not. Gucci Bro 2 TVL 40 million passing injective. What do you mean $2 TVL? 2 million? 200 million? My friend told me about L1 called Epic Cash. Have you heard of them? Yes, and you should stay far, far, far away. I tried to interview them for FOMO and Pass, and I didn't even show it because it was just really bad. LimeWire coin, I don't really want to check it because it's probably pumping, so you want me to check it. I forgot what it's about. Yeah, I'm just going to stop right there and close it. Can you get Gina on the show? You're the best. Maybe at one of my future conferences, I would love to have her there. Yes, I would. Is Flow still any good? You know what? Is NBA Top Shots even a thing? They had a lot of controversy. They wouldn't allow people to sell. And, you know, what happened to it? Is it still around? Yeah, you still have, you still have people buying these for hundreds of dollars. So there's still a community. So yeah, so as long as they're around, Flow is around. Yeah, you could do virtual packs, you know, and then sell your pack, your people. You get like moments. Yeah, you got all these that sold out, so they're still doing good. So my niece, this is from Nick. So my niece from her 20s is wanting to get into crypto and has like $50 to start. And then we'll do see it through a bull run. Thoughts on new investors like her? It's never too late to get started. I don't know what you want me to say. It's good for her, but $50 to start, not a whole lot, right? But it's okay. As long as you're consistent. You can't just throw $50 in and then forget about it, right? You have to be consistent. If she was really serious about DCAing, then she has to do so, right? Set a schedule and put in that $50 according to that schedule. So always start with Bitcoin. Then once you understand Bitcoin, then you can diversify, right? And that's the whole point of today's video, to kind of go over the top 100. Rate my bag. Solana, Render, BNB, Uniswap. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad, Philip. It's not bad. NBA Top Shots is under class action. I did hear about that. That was years ago. Is that still a thing? No AI coins, Graph or Fetch. Did I skip over Graph? And I know Fetch isn't on here. What place is Graph? Yeah, Graph is not AI at all. I think people just get overexcited and think that everything somehow has to do with AI. The Graph has nothing to do with AI. The Graph helps projects create APIs for data retrieval. That's what they do. They use an open standard. I forgot what it's called, but that's what they do. They're not an AI play. Fetch, you could argue, but it's not really AI, and they're not in the top 100. Evan, appreciate that. Len, always gifting 6 more memberships. Thank you, Len. Always appreciate that. What's your opinion on the future of cryptocurrency and threat of quantum computing? There's no threat of quantum computing. I don't know why people always, like, in every like cycle, people start asking, what are the threats, you know, of quantum computer? There's none. Quantum computing is very limited in its capacity, and if it ever gets so smart it could crack, you know, SHA-256 encryption, well, there's bigger problems. They can crack literally anything. They could crack nuclear codes and crack banks and crack the stock market. They could crack anything. Okay, the last thing you have to worry about is them cracking your private key. So, yeah, not something to worry about. Okay. Len just keeps giving out memberships every single stream. Appreciate it, Len. Space 5 says Len gifts Gareth Griffs. Carlos, if you could go back and reinvest in a coin you slept on, which would it be? Oh, there's a lot. You know, out of the ones that I never invested early, I guess. I don't know. There's been a lot. I got into SHIB when it was early, but then I sold out really quick because I never thought that it would go up as much as it did. So like I put in like I forgot 1,000 or 5,000 early, not super early, but early, and then I sold out when I doubled or tripled my money. And I remember during like somewhat in peak of 2021, not even close to peak, it would have been like 500,000, and during peak it probably would have been like 5 million, right? But then it came down. But anyways, I wish I would have held on longer. Others that have done very well, Injective, you know, they have done very well this year. I never really paid much attention to them before, so wish I would have gotten into Injective sooner. Others, I don't know. A lot of these have come and go, you know, throughout the years. You know, some I got into, some I got into early, some I got into late. It's all kind of like, you know, mixed up. Rose, I know all about Luxo. I covered them in 2021, but it took them way too long to come out with their chain. So I don't even know what's going on with them. He helped create the ERC20 standard, and he was going to do a new standard on Luxo. He partnered up with some luxury designer, and their Twitter was weird. They were doing like luxury bag sales and fashion shows and stuff. I don't know if that stopped, but yeah, I did cover them before. I don't even know where they are now. They're not bad, 184 million, but yeah, they're actually not far off from their peak. This doesn't go all the way back. I know they've been out. This doesn't go all the way back. They were out around 21, so this doesn't go back far enough. ADA for sure. ADA was one, yeah, but there's others that have gone up a lot more, and I never bought into them. Please suggest some small caps to buy. You don't need to buy small caps. That's the thing. That's the whole point of concentrating in top 100. Okay? A lot of these in a top 100 will do a 10x very easily because that's just to get back to previous high. And then after that, they could do another 10x. Maybe not. Maybe do another 5x or 2x or whatever. So some of these are like 20, 30, 40x. You don't need to get into small caps right now. This is not altcoin season. When it's altcoin season, right, full-blown altcoin season, you could go to page 10 and find some random coin and could possibly pump. See, this is how funny it is. On page 6, you have Voyager token. That's still worth 34 million, even though they are bankrupt. So this shouldn't even have any value, but it does. So that's how hard it is to kill crypto. But yeah, my point is you don't need to go into, you know, top 500 and try to gamble right now. Like Star Atlas is here, right? A game that has never reached its full potential because they're never done, right? So like my point is you don't need to go here and stock up on a page 6 coin when page 1 coins have plenty of potential and can still do very, very well. Now, that's not to say that page 6 coins won't ever go up, but you're taking a huge risk and really gambling at this point, right? Leg up or next or leg down? Leg up. Leg up. Let's see. Page 50. Before in like 2021, when I was really bored, I would just go through like page 40 or 50 or all the way down, you know, but this is not the time for that. This is time to load up on good coins, ones that still have plenty of growth, plenty of potential. Litecoin Cash or Doge Elon Mars? Litecoin Cash is a total scam, so no. So Doge Elon Mars, I guess. Vincent Keen, we're not all millionaires like you. Regular people buy low and sell high, not buy halfway through the bull run when you post videos of crypto already pumping. See, that's where you're wrong, Vincent. And I wasn't born a millionaire. I only became a millionaire within the last 2 years. All right? And mostly because I held on. So, yeah. What you are describing is gambling. If you think that you don't have enough and you want to gamble, then go buy lottery tickets. Go spend all your paycheck on lottery tickets. That's the easiest way to build wealth, right? Because you want that instant gratification. You don't want to actually hold. What I'm telling you, a lot of these coins will do a 20, 30, 50x. And if that doesn't appease you, then you should not be in the game. Quite simply, that simple. You should just buy lottery tickets and keep buying lottery tickets. And don't invest, because investing is not for you. Even as fast moving as crypto is, you could become a millionaire in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. But you probably don't want to hear that. You want to be a millionaire within the next year. So, you know, you decide. Point, George, you keep telling them, but some never get it. Yeah, it's the same thing. I get it. Because there are some people that want to escape the rat race, want to break through the chains, and they're very miserable. But they think crypto is a way to do it really quickly. Like within the next year, within the next 6 months, you know, you put $1,000 in, you become a millionaire. It's that easy, right? No. That's like 1 in a million. As fast as Bitcoin, as fast as Ethereum, as fast as XRP, as fast as what's down here? Woo Network or Casper or Oasis. As fast moving they are, you still have to wait, my man. You still have to wait. You have to invest. You have to treat it as a long-term hold, basically a long-term investment. But that long-term investment in crypto is way faster than equities, way faster than anything else. Tia is asking about Veracity. I never liked Veracity. Too hyped up. Way too hyped up. 68 million market cap. That's about right. So they came out with some patent that's supposed to detect live views from botted views, right? That no one cared about. Then they went into esports and they were teaming up with gaming streams. You know, that was it. Their claim to fame was they have a patent on something that was able to detect bot views. And at a time, it's just like, really, no one cared. No one cared. Have they done anything else since then? See, this proof of view, fraud, identification technology. They really haven't done it much since then. So I don't know. They were way over hyped in the last bull run. I feel like the market doesn't know what to do. Is that right or just me? No, it knows what to do. It's just consolidating. Lazaro, you have been through this enough with me. You know this is what happens. We were stuck at 26,000 for a long time, my friend. And now we're at 34,000, 35,000. You can't absolutely be complaining about that. it's only been like, what, 1 week, 1.5 weeks since we pumped up to 35,000. So, yeah, I think it's doing just fine. Robert's asking about Celestia. I don't know too much about Celestia. I actually just heard about it recently. Someone told me about Celestia, or I read it about somewhere. I forgot what they do, though. First modular blockchain network. That's not true. They are not the first. There's been many that have claimed they're modular. It sounds like an L1. There's no difference. I just read something about Celestia. Well, okay, you know. Can't say anything bad about them, but can't say really anything good about them because I don't know enough about them, but they are L1. They are L1. And they could do well. Let's pull all-nighter. No, I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that at all. All right, guys. Yes, Lazaro. Yes. I won't let you guys go. I gotta rest. That was a lot that I said. I covered a lot. So make sure you bookmark this one and go back and listen to some of these and do deeper research, right? I gave you a broad overview. There's a lot more to talk about with each one of these chains, specifically the L1s. There's a lot of partnerships, a lot of things that I've overlooked or didn't say, right? So make sure you do research into them. It was meant to be a broad overview so you guys get a good understanding of a lot of these coins that I talk about all the time or randomly. All right, guys, that is it. Nick, when do you think we'll get a retracement this month? I don't know. I don't know. I don't pay attention to retracements, nor do I try to guess them. I just focus on DCA holding and the future. That's it. That's it. All right. Have a good night. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one. Take care.